Welcome back to Kapow TV. I'm sitting here with Kortney Olson, author, fitness coach, champion bodybuilder, powerlifter.
Don't forget Guinness Book of World Record holder for smashing watermelons between my legs. Jack of all trades.
That too.
You better behave or that might be you next.
Yeah, all right. That's for another time.
Moving on.
Well, speaking of that, Courtney, which I know will be quite intriguing for the viewers, you just recently went across to California to attempt to break the world record for smashing watermelons with your thighs.
That's right.
Please expound on that.
If I must. It was actually to set the record, because believe it or not, there wasn't a record previously for it, which I'm sure you can imagine why. But it was quite an experience. The show asked how I found out about having the strength and the superhuman strength, and how old I was when I figured it out. And you know, I just came across
Which
it.
Which begs the question, how old were you when you figured it out?
Well, it was only a couple of years ago. I had a friend ask me that was curious, you know, because I have really big legs and, you know, happen to be quite strong for a female. And he said, "Do you think you could smash this watermelon with your legs?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll give it a go." And it was just, it exploded. It was very easy for me. But I did say that, you know, my earliest memory as a child was wanting to have a six-pack and, like, ripped muscles. So I didn't ask Santa Claus for a pony, you know, growing up, or anything like that, or a Barbie. I asked for a
bag
weight
of watermelons.
No, a weight set, a bench, and a set of weights. So, but yeah, no, it was great. They asked what setting the world record would mean to me, and I said, well, it's a way for me to make a statement that women are not the weaker sex, and that we are all, in fact, created equal. And the crowd went wild, of course. So it's yeah, it was fun. It was an honor.
Because I know you have a website and everything, and I know a lot of your push is about the empowerment of women.
That's correct. It's Confidence by Courtney, with a K, of course. And it really is to just promote women to get out there and to do things such as getting into the martial arts and building confidence and learning how to work out at home or at the gym or while they're sitting there waiting for the bus. You know, it's a whole component of health and wellness. So it's not just about looking good on the outside, but you also have to feel it from the inside out. You know, whether that be through yoga. I've got bits on meditation on there, but as well as the outer. So taking care of your body and good nutrition. You know, good nutrition is huge. That's 80% of the battle. So, yeah.
And martial arts for you, because this is predominantly, you know, a martial arts based show and everything. Now, I know you've been into the world of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu of late.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
I'm addicted. I am absolutely addicted. Coming from a background of bodybuilding where it's very subjective, you know, you're being judged by a panel of people who sometimes look like they haven't stepped foot in the gym in about a decade. So it seems very political and can be very devastating because you put your body through a lot of hard work to get to where you are at the end, come time for show. And with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the sport aspect of it, there's nothing like it. And it's black and white. Either you tap me out or I tapped you out, or on points. And, you know, but it's also given me a level of confidence that it couldn't have come from anywhere else. You know, and knowing that, you know, I can walk down the street in the dark, in the alley, by myself, and look anybody in the eye.
As you do.
Oh, as I do. I do it for fun. I'm looking for trouble, and nobody will give it to me. What's up with that?
Come on, test me.
Maybe it's these massive guns. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's wonderful, and especially with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you know, it's technique based. It's not strength. That's just the cherry on top, as somebody once told me. So for females, it's great because, you know, they can go and compete on a level playing ground with men. And really, if you find yourself in that situation where every woman does not want to be, and unfortunately it does happen, then you can feel a lot more assured that you have a fighting chance.
I think that's a big message for those out there who don't know about Jujitsu. The one thing we kind of know in the combat world is that most guys aren't going to get into a boxing match with a female on the street or anything like that. It's about grabbing them, it's about dragging them to whatever place of seclusion and doing what they want to do. So the idea of grappling in Jiu-Jitsu, of being able to get somebody off you if you needed to, and basically be able to, make your escape, I think it's a valuable thing. At least it's something that every lady should look at adding to their arsenal of combat skills, if in fact personal protection is something that's important to them. And let's face it, like you said, the stats are that it's on the cards. We pray to God it never does happen, but we know it does, and why not arm yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great way to get in shape. I'll tell you what, there's, it's become so mundane being in the gym, doing the same thing, treadmill, weightlifting. It's great, but adding that level of rolling and grappling, you got to be switched on. You got to use your brain. It's like playing chess, but with your body. And, so not only are you training your body, but you're also training your brain at the same time. So I love it. Absolutely love it. I would recommend it to anybody.
And powerlifting, you're still doing that?
Still powerlifting. I do a fair bit of CrossFit, which I find crosses over quite a bit into martial arts as well, because there's a lot of, hip movement and learning to activate your hips and using functional movement, with the deadlift and the squat, things like that. Whereas using machines and isolated movements can get, there's some benefit to it, to sculpting your body and looking a certain way, but with that functional strength and generating that power, it comes from, doing those traditional type lifts of Olympic lifting and power lifting and plyometrics. So that's really helpful as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's next for Kortney Olson?
I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. And we all know that.
I was just going to say, yeah, but you couldn't. Well, yeah, maybe you could. We won't
maybe
go
not
there
a
with
year
that.
ago, but yeah. Yeah, no, I have a lot on the horizon. I actually just finished writing a book that's going off to the publisher, and I've got a pretty...
Are you allowed to tell us anything about that?
Well...
Little tidbit?
A little tidbit.
A little exclusive for Kapow TV?
It's shocking, let's put it that way, and every parent will want to read it. It's basically the story of my life and making it through addictions and some other unfortunate situations, but that at the end of the day, anybody can make it through anything and end up on top in an amazing way.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get you back when it's actually out there and published.
For sure.
Talk about that.
Yeah, and keep an eye out. I believe the Watermelon Extravaganza will air on True TV, where you can find Pawn Stars and Hardcore Pawn, PAWN, not porn, October 23rd or 24th. So it'll be, aired in the U.S., but it'll eventually be brought over to this great country.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do I get a mention in your book?
I think you do, actually.
The segment's over.
Yeah,
We're out of
can
here.
it, over it. But
right.
Thank you for having me. It's
Yeah,
been a
thank you,
pleasure.
Courtney. Thank you for being on Kapow TV, and we'll get you back again, as I say, especially when the book comes out. And all the best. I mean, the empowerment of women, what an important focus to have. So
Absolutely.
I think it's fantastic.
Thanks,
Thanks,
mate.
everybody. See you soon.
Bye.